Hello and welcome to my review of the Imperialis Inquisition Codex, or updated rules. They are found in the November edition of White Dwarf. I had a flick through the magazine following like a first look format rather than a review, and I thought it would be a good time with the release of the Sisters of Battle, or they're coming out next month, most of them, to do a review of the Inquisition Codex section of the magazine, because I just sort of skimmed over it. I've got a few models as well, so we're going to see some of those, because there aren't a huge amount of pictures in this little codex of them. It's not really like your standard like Sisters of Battle Codex or Space Marine Codex, where sometimes they have pictures. It's very much like a collection of 8th edition data sheets. So the codex itself literally starts on page 22 and ends on page 41. So you're getting 19 pages there of codex goodness, which it's all right, you know, 20 pages or so. You get a little bit about the Inquisition, some fiction, and like some letters and things. You get a little picture there of some of them. So you've got Inquisitor Karamazov, you've got a Jokio, you've got Witch Hunter there, you've got Greyfax, you've got Koteas, I think you've got a preacher, I think, maybe a missionary, you get a demon host. Very old models, all of them very old models, except for the Greyfax. I think that's one of the first times we saw a Condemner bolt gun, well, in plastic, that is. You get a bit more fiction. You get the Index Inquisition, whereby it outlines the keywords. Throughout this section you will come across the Ordo keyword. You must nominate which Ordo it is from, and then replace the Ordo keyword in every instance on its data sheet with the name of your chosen Ordo. The Ordos available are Ordo Hereticus, Ordo Malleus, Ordo Xenos and Ordo Minoris. Abilities: you've got Quarry, units with the Ordo Malleus, Ordo Hereticus, Ordo Xenos or Ordo Minoris keyword gain the respective ability below. So Malleus, when resolving an attack made by a model in this unit against a Chaos or Demon unit, you can reroll the hit roll and you can reroll the wound roll. Ordo Hereticus, when resolving an attack made by a model in this unit against a Chaos or Psyker unit, you can reroll the hit roll and reroll the wound roll. Ordo Xenos, when resolving an attack made by a model in this unit against a unit that is not Chaos, Imperium or unaligned, you can reroll the hit roll and reroll the wound roll. And finally, Ordo Minoris, when resolving an attack made by a model in this unit against a character unit, you can reroll the hit roll and reroll the wound roll. Authority of the Inquisition. Infantry units with this ability can embark aboard any Imperium transport model, even if that model normally only permits models with other faction keywords. All other restrictions apply normally, and Inquisitor Terminator models can only embark aboard transport models that specifically allow Terminator models to do so. That makes sense, so, you know, size limitations and all that. If your army is Battleforged, the following rules apply. No more than one Inquisitor unit can be included in any Inquisition detachment. If your army does not include any Inquisition detachments, one Inquisitor unit can be included in any other detachment without taking up a slot, so long as every unit in your army has the Imperium keyword and does not have the Fallen keyword. That Inquisitor unit does not prevent any other units in your army benefiting from the detachment abilities, such as chapter tactics, and does not prevent abilities that require every model in your army to have that ability, e.g. combat doctrines, canticles of the Omnissiah. In a match play game, the Inquisitor unit is ignored for the purposes of the Battle Brothers rule, although all units in your army must still have the Imperium faction keyword. You've got stratagems here. Cyclonic Torpedo, 1d6 for each unit within 2d6 of that point, any point on the battlefield, and then on a 4+, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. C's for Interrogation, use the stratagem in any phase. After an enemy character unit is destroyed within 3 inches of any Inquisition units from your army, gain d3 command points and subtract 1 for the leadership characteristic of enemy units until the end of the battle. You can only use this stratagem once. Inquisitorial Mandate, use the stratagem before the battle. Select one Inquisition model from your army that is not your Warlord and determine one Warlord trait for it. It is regarded as your Warlord for the purposes of that Warlord trait. If the model is not a named character or vehicle, you can then give one relic of the Inquisition to that model. Requisition. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase, fight phase, or opponent's charge phase. An Imperium infantry or Imperium biker unit from your army that was within 6 inches of the Inquisitor unit fires Overwatch or is chosen to shoot or fight with till the end of that phase. When resolving an attack model in that unit against an enemy unit specified in that Inquisitor unit's quarry ability, reroll hit roll of 1. And then it goes on to the data sheets. Now it's quite HQ heavy. There are 6 HQs. You've got Greyfax, Koteas, Karamazov, Eisenhorn, and just a Ordo Malleus Inquisitor, and then a in Terminator armour, and then an Inquisitor. Then you've got the Demon Host for elites, Jokero Weaponsmith for elites, and an Acolyte for elites. And that's it. There's no heavy supports. There are Warlord Traits. We'll go through them in a bit. There's Telethesia Discipline. We'll go through those. And then there's Relics of the Inquisition, and I'll just do a summary of those. And then you've got Armories of the Ordos, and then points values. So I'll give you the points values along with the power points costs. So let's go back to Inquisitor Greyfax. So Inquisitor Greyfax, she will cost you a power points cost of a 4 and a points cost of 85. Pretty decent actually. Bear in mind her points cost include all her war gear. Her stat line is movement of 6 inches, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, toughness 3, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 10, and a save of 3+. Equipped with a mastercrafted Condemner bolt gun, mastercrafted power sword, frag grenades, crack grenades, psych out grenades. You can only include one of this model in your army. Now the mastercrafted Condemner bolt gun, it's a 24-inch rapid fire 1 weapon, strength 4, but it is AP -1 and it is damage 1. And against psychers, the weapon has a damage characteristic of 3 for that attack, so you want to be firing this thing at psychers. Mastercrafted power sword, it's just the strength of the user, AP -3 and a damage of 2. I think that's 1 more damage than a normal one, I think. Psych out grenades, well, frag grenades and crack grenades work as usual, but psych out grenades, if you didn't already know, there are still a range of 6 inches. Grenade D3, strength's only 2, AP 0, damage is 1, but against psyker or demon units, on a hit roll of 6 plus, the target suffers 1 mortal wound and the attack sequence ends. So you've got a chance of getting mortal wounds on demons and psychers. Abilities: Authority of the Inquisition and Quarry, we've talked about them. Syoculum, this model can target a psychic character or demon character even if it is not the closest enemy unit. Pretty good. Refractor Field, she's got 5+ invulnerable, so 3+ normal, 5+ invulnerable. Indomitable, when a Deny the Witch test is taken for this model, add 1 to the total. And Unquestionable Wisdom, friendly Imperium units can use this model's leadership instead of their own whilst they are within 6 inches of this model. She can also attempt to manifest 1 psychic power in the psychic phase and deny 2 psychic powers in the opponent's psychic phase. She knows Smite and 1 from their Telethesia discipline. We'll talk about them later. Keywords: Imperium, Inquisition, Ordo Hereticus, Character, Infantry, Inquisitor, Psyker, and Greyfax. I actually have the model right here. Here she is. I'll just do a little bit of a zoom in on her. So that's what she looks like. Well, spray black, of course. There's Condemner bolt gun. Really lovely model. This flowing cape kind of reminds me of Bloodborne, especially with the hat, and you know, just need some big blades or something. So there you go. That's Inquisitor Greyfax. Inquisitor Koteas, as I already have him here. I think he was upgraded in resin at some point, but I still have the metal model. He is really, really heavy, especially with that eagle. Quite easy to glue together because he's metal, so just super glue. I painted this over 20 years ago. I think I did an alright job, but there you go. No highlights whatsoever, but I think I picked up some of the detail. Anyway, that's what Inquisitor Koteas looks like. It's got this big Nemesis Demon Hammer, it's called. Let's talk about his rules then. So he's a power points cost of a 4. He is an HQ choice, like I said. And he's a points cost of 90. Pretty decent, I think, 90 points. His movement speed is 6 inches. Weapon skill and ballistic skill both 3+. His strength is 3, toughness 3. He's got 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 10, but this time he's got a save of 2+. I take it that's because he's got his Artificer armour or something. Single model equipped with a bolt pistol, Cyber Eagle, mastercrafted Nemesis Demon Hammer. You can only include one of these models in your army. Bolt pistol, same as usual, but the Cyber Eagle, it's a range of 24 inches, it's Assault D6, Strength 4, AP 0, and a damage of 1. It's quite decent. And then the Mastercrafted Demon Hammer, and the Mastercrafted Nemesis Demon Hammer, it's a Strength ×2, which is 6, AP -3, and a damage of 3. Good at its damage 3. He's got his abilities: Authority of the Inquisition and Quarry, Refractor Field, so he gets a 5+ Invulnerable, Unquestionable Wisdom. Friendly Imperial units can use this model's leadership instead of their own whilst they're within 6 inches of the model, so same as Greyfax. Spy Network: when an enemy unit is set up on the battlefield as reinforcements, you can select one friendly Ordo Malleus unit within 6 inches of this model. The selected unit can shoot at the enemy unit as if it were your shooting phase. In addition, once per battle, when your opponent uses a stratagem, this model can use its Spy Network. If it does, your opponent must spend 1 additional command point to resolve that stratagem, or else it has no effect, and any command points spent on that stratagem are considered not to have been spent. This ability cannot affect stratagems used before the battle. He can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers in the psychic phase and attempt to deny 1 psychic power in the your opponent's psychic phase. He knows Smite and 1 psychic power from the Telethesia discipline. Keywords: Imperium, Inquisition, Ordo Malleus, Character, Infantry, Inquisitor, Psyker, and Koteas. So quite a decent character there. Yes, he's a bit squidgy at toughness 3, and his strength isn't the best, you know, but he's going to be hitting at strength 6 at least. The next HQ choice is Inquisitor Karamazov. Looks like he's on this big old dreadnought type thing. That's reflected in his profile. He's a power points cost of a 6 and a points cost of 115. So he's actually the most expensive Inquisitor in this little codex. His stat line reads: movement of 5 inches, weapon skill and ballistic skill both 3+, strength 5, toughness 5, 8 wounds, attacks 4, leadership 10, and a save of 4+. So very decent. Obviously it's set for his save there. Koteas has a better save, but this guy is not squishy. He does have a really good toughness and a lot of wounds. He's a single model armed with a Mastercrafted Multi-Melter, Mastercrafted Power Sword, Throne of Judgment, Stomping Feet. You can only include one of him in your army. So the Mastercrafted Multi-Melter is a 30-inch range weapon. It's Assault 1, Strength 8, AP -4, and a damage of D6. And also, when you resolve an attack made with the weapon against a unit that is within half range, you roll 2d6 and discard one of the results. So 30-inch Mastercrafted Multi-Melter. His Mastercrafted Power Sword is Strength of the User, which will be 5, AP -3, and a damage of 2. The Throne of Judgment Stomping Feet is Strength of the User, which is 5, AP -1, and a damage of 2, but you can make 2d3 additional attacks with this weapon, so possibly up to 6 attacks. Nice. Abilities: Authority of the Inquisition and Quarry. He's got Supreme Will. When a psychic test is taken for an enemy model within 12 inches of this model, subtract 1 from the total. In addition, if a psychic power manifested by an enemy model targets this model, roll 2d6. If the total is greater than or equal to the psychic test total, this model is not affected by that power. All of the models are still affected. Unquestionable Wisdom. So again, friendly Imperium units can use this model's leadership instead of their own, whilst they're within 6 inches of him. Dread Reputation, subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of enemy infantry units while they're within 12 inches of this model. And Throne of Judgment, this model has a 4+ Invulnerable. So it's nice that he's got 8 wounds. He's got a normal 4+, but an Invulnerable 4+. His toughness 5 means he's going to be a little bit trickier to take down, but from weight of fire, you can definitely go for it. However, he's a character, remember. Keywords: Imperium, Inquisition, Ordo, Hereticus, Vehicle, Character, Inquisitor, and Karamazov. And I don't have the model for Karamazov. I never got him. I think he was a metal model anyway. Inquisitor Eisenhorn then. I do have the model for him. They did release a model along with Dan Abnett's book last year, so over a year ago. In September time, August, September. That's what he looks like. Fantastic model. That's obviously when he's younger and when he still had all his hair and, you know, all the rest of it. Looks really cool. Lovely scenic base as well. Fantastic model. Really like that. It is in Finecast, but it's fine. I've never really had any issues with them, and I've had quite a few of those models. So he's a power points cost of a 4 and a points cost of 80. So he's actually the cheapest Inquisitor out of all of them. Let's move back a bit. His stat line reads: movement of 6 inches, weapon skill and ballistic skill both 3+, strength and toughness of 3, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 10, and a save of 4+. Single model armed with an Artificer bolt pistol, Barbara Satyr, Rune Staff, Electrobane grenades, you can only include one of them. So the Artificer bolt pistol, it's a 12-inch pistol, one weapon, strength 4, but it is AP -1 and damage of 2, so it's a little bit better than a normal bolt pistol. Baba Rosetta, I think that's how I would pronounce it. It's a strength of the user, it's a melee weapon, it's a strength of the user which is 3, AP -3, damage D3, and then when resolving an attack made by the weapon, you add 1 to the hit roll. That is awesome. Yes, it's only strength 3, but very good AP and very good damage, and you get 1 to the hit roll. That's a good counter for his not, average weapon skill. A rune staff adds +3 to his strength, so that's 6, AP -1, and a damage of D3. And these Electrobane grenades are a 6-inch range grenade 1 weapon, strength 4, AP -1, and a damage of 1. However, they do have a special ability whereby you resolve an attack made with this weapon against a vehicle unit. An unmodified wound roll of 4 to 5 inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any other damage, and an unmodified wound roll of 6 inflicts D3 mortal wounds on the target in addition to any other damage. So very good against vehicles. Abilities, he's got quite a few. Authority of the Inquisition and Quarry, and Questionable Wisdom. So again, like the other Inquisitors, friendly Imperium units can use this model's leadership instead of their own whilst they're within 6 inches of him. Radical Bond, whilst the Demon Host model that was set up within this model's Malus Codiceum ability is within 6 inches of this model. When resolving an attack made by that model, add 1 to the hit roll and wound roll, and when resolving an attack against that model, add 1 to its invulnerable save for that attack. Very good. So he needs to be near some demon hosts. No stranger to pain. When this model would have lose a wound, roll 1d6, and on a 6 that wound is not lost. That helps the survivability a little bit. And Malus Codiceum, once per battle at the end of your movement phase, you can use this ability. If you do, this model loses the Unquestionable Wisdom ability. Then set up a demon host unit within 6 inches of the model, more than 9 inches away from enemy models. Add 2 to that model's strength, toughness, wounds, and attacks characteristic. If this model is destroyed, that demon host unit is also destroyed. Very, very decent extra little demon host there. This model can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers in psychic phase and attempt to deny 2 psychic powers in opponent's psychic phase. It knows smite and 2 psychic powers from the Telethesia discipline. So actually the most strongest psyker in terms of all of these Inquisitors. Keywords: Imperium, Inquisition, Ordo Xenos, Character Infantry, Inquisitor, Psyker, and Eisenhorn. I'd love it if they made a Ravener model, Inquisitor Ravener, and just have a model of him just floating about with his psychic ability and also his bodyguards. Be amazing, wouldn't it? They've got an Eisenhorn model finally. Hopefully we'll get Ravener. And then just 2 more Inquisitors. So you've got Ordo Malleus Inquisitor in Terminator armour. I don't think they've done a model for him. I don't think. You could proxy Inquisitor Lord Hector Rex as a Inquisitor in Terminator armour. I wouldn't see any problems with that. Anyway, it's a power points cost of a 6 and a points cost of 91. So one of the most expensive ones. And that's not including all of his other war gear and weapons and things. His movement speed is 6 inches. Normally Terminators are movement speed of 5 inches, so wow, that's amazing. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 3+. Strength 3, toughness 3, 6 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, and a save of 2+. Obviously he's got his save of 2+. Single model armed with a Stormbolter, Nemesis Demon Hammer, and Psych Out grenades. I suppose maybe you could use the Grey Knights model that they released with Greyfax. I always forget that guy's name. You've got a load of weapons here. You've got Combi Flamer, Combi Melter, Combi Plasma, Psy Cannon, Stormbolter, Nemesis Demon Hammer, Psychout grenades. This model can be equipped with one of the following, so the Stormbolter, Combi Flamer, Combi Melter, Combi Plasma, or Psy Cannon. And this model can be equipped with one weapon from the Force weapons list instead of one Nemesis Demon Hammer. His abilities: Authority of the Inquisition, Quarry, Terminator armor, so he gets a 5+ invulnerable save, Unquestionable Wisdom, I've mentioned that before, but friendly Imperium units can use this model's leadership instead of their own if they're within 6 inches of him, and Teleport Strike. You can set up this model in a teleportarium chamber instead of setting it up on the battlefield. If you do, at the end of your movement phases, you can set this model up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models. Psyker, this model can attempt to manifest one psychic power in your psychic phase and attempt to deny one psychic power in your opponent's psychic phase. It knows Smite, Psychic, and one psychic power from the Telethesia discipline. Keywords: Imperium, Inquisition, Ordo Malleus, Character, Infantry, Terminator, Psyker, and Inquisitor. Speaking of which, we've now got Inquisitors. I have a model. I think I've got one model for the Inquisition. I thought I had two, but anyway, this is my model for my Inquisitor. There he is. He looks quite cool. He's got a what has he got actually? Well, it says he's got a chainsword, but you can give him a force weapon. I'd probably just say it's a force sword, and you can have a ranged weapon. So I'd say he's got a melter pistol, inferno pistol. Yeah, you can give him an inferno pistol. Looks more like a melter though, doesn't it? Maybe it's a combi melter. I mean, it's strange because it looks like a melter, but it's also got a sickle magazine for the bolt gun. Anyway, he's armed with that. So that's my model of him. He's painted all right. This is way before I did any highlighting and things. He's metal too. A nice bit of weight to him. So this Inquisitor is a power points cost of a 4 and a points cost of 55. So it's pretty cheap actually. His stat line reads: movement at 6 inches, weapon skill and ballistic skill both 3+, strength and toughness of 3, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, and a save of 4+. Is equipped with a bolt pistol, chainsword, frag grenades, and crack grenades. Bolt pistol, chainsword, and grenades do what they normally do. This model can have the Psyker keyword. If it does, then it can be equipped with one weapon from the force weapons list instead of a chainsword, basically what mine has got. The model can be equipped with one of the following instead of one bolt pistol, one weapon from the pistol weapons list, one weapon from the ranged weapons list. This model can be equipped with one weapon from the melee weapons list instead of one chainsword, so you could give them a power sword I suppose then. Abilities: Authority of the Inquisition and Quarry, Refractor Field, so it gets a 5+ and vulnerable, so 4+ normal, 5+ and vulnerable, it's alright. Unquestionable Wisdom: friendly Imperium units can use this model's leadership instead of their own whilst they're within 6 inches of the model. And then Iron Will: if this model is not a Psyker and a psychic power manifested by an enemy model targets this model, roll 2d6. If the total is greater than or equal to the psychic test total, this model is not affected by that power. Other models still affected normally. Interesting that a normal Inquisitor in Terminator armor doesn't get that. I guess it's because it's a Ordo Malleus Inquisitor rather than just an Inquisitor that you can pick the Ordo. I've been zoomed in all that time. Apologies. But yeah, it's strange. However, it does give you a bit of freedom if you don't want him to be a Psyker. If this model is a Psyker, it can attempt to manifest one psychic power in your psychic phase and attempt to deny one psychic power in your opponent's psychic phase. It knows Smite and one psychic power from the Telethesia discipline. Keywords: Imperium, Inquisition, Character, Infantry, and Inquisitor. Okay, so after all of the HQ choices, we've then got the elites. We kick it off with the Demon Host. It is a power points cost of a 1 and a points cost of 25. Quite cheap really. What do you get for your 25 points? Well, you get a movement of 6 inches, weapon skill of 4+, ballistic skill of 4+, strength and toughness are both 4, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 7, and a save of 7+. So not that good at the moment. Well, strength and toughness are alright. A Demon Host is a single model equipped with Unholy Gaze and Warp Grasp. So what you're getting is a melee weapon and a ranged weapon. So Unholy Gaze is a range of 12 inches, assault 1, strength 8, AP -1, damage 1. But when resolving an attack made by the weapon, on a roll of a 6+, the weapon has a damage characteristic of 3 for that attack. So you only get one shot, but on a 6+, you get damage of 3. Warp Grasp though, the melee, is a strength of the user, which is only 4, but it is AP -3 and damage of 1. And remember, it gets 3 attacks. You can't have more than one Demon Host in this unit. You can have obviously 3 Demon Hosts, but not like 2 within this thing. Abilities: Demonic Power. At the start of your movement phase, roll 1d6 for each model with this ability and apply the following result.
So D6 result of a 1 to 2 demonic speed. Until the start of your next turn, this model has a move characteristic of 12 inches and can fly. 3 to 4 reknit host form. This model regains all its lost wounds. And 5 to 6 energy torrent. Roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within 3 inches of this model, and on a 2+, that enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. And finally, it is demonic, so it gets a 5+ invulnerable save. So ignore that 7+, you get a 5+ invulnerable. Keywords: Imperium, Inquisition, Character, Infantry, Demon, and Demon Host. So very, very powerful unit. A bit hit or miss in terms of the results, but wouldn't it be nice to be down to 1 wound and then get a roll of 3 and you're back up to 4 wounds again. So hit or miss, but potentially could be quite strong. Another elite choice is the Jakero Weaponsmith for a power points cost of a 1 and a points cost of 18. So a little bit cheaper than the Demon Host. Again, you can only really get 1 within that unit profile. Its movement speed is 6 inches, weapon skill is only 6+, ballistic skill is 4+, strength is only 2, toughness is 3, 3 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7, and a save of 7+. Now, it's a single model equipped with Jakero weapons. Jakero weapons, when you choose this weapon to shoot with, you select one of the profiles. You've got Focus Strike or Scatter Shot. Focus Strike is a 24-inch range, heavy 1, strength 8, AP -3, and a damage of 3 weapon. Pretty good at 24 inches. Scatter Shot, again, Assault 6, strength 4, AP -1, and a damage of 1. So that's quite good. I mean, to double the range for the higher strength, that would be great, but it would be even better if it was like a 36-inch range or something like that. Abilities: Authority of the Inquisition, Defense Orbs, model has a 5+ invulnerable save. That's pretty good, but it is quite squishy at toughness of 3. Inconceivable Customization. At the start of your shooting phase, you can select 1 friendly auto unit within 3 inches of this model and roll 1d6. Apply the result from the following table to the selected unit until the end of the turn. So this is at the shooting phase. The Demon Host was at the movement phase, so a lot to remember. D6 result of a 1 to 2, augmented targeting. When resolving an attack made by a model in this unit, you can reroll the hit roll. 3 to 4, augmented penetration. When resolving an attack made by a model with this unit, you can reroll the wound roll. And 5 to 6, total augmentation. When resolving an attack made by a model in this unit, you can reroll the hit roll and you can reroll the wound roll. Pretty good. But you have to have this weaponsmith within 3 inches to get these abilities. Keywords: Imperium, Jakero, Inquisition, Character, Infantry, Jakero, Weaponsmith. And then the final choice in this Inquisition, in this index, is the Acolyte. Power points cost of a 1 and a points cost of 8. Models per unit though, it does say 1 to 6. So this is the only option in this like mini codex where you can have more than 1. The unit contains 1 Acolyte. It can additionally contain up to 5 additional Acolytes, power rating 1 per model. Every model is equipped with Las Pistol and Chainsword. So what do you get for this 1 power point? Well, it's movement of 6 inches, weapon skill and ballistic skill both 4+, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, 2 attacks, leadership 7, and a save of 5+. Las Pistol, it's a usual Las Pistol, it's a 12-inch, pistol 1, strength 3, AP 0 and damage 1, it's effectively a flashlight. Chainsword is the strength of the user, which is 3, AP 0 and a damage of 1, and when the bearer fights it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. War gear options: any model can be equipped with 1 weapon from the pistol weapons list instead of 1 Las Pistol. Any model can be equipped with 1 weapon from the melee weapons or range weapons list instead of 1 chainsword. Abilities: Authority of the Inquisition and Quarry. Agent: if this unit contains 1 Acolyte at the start of the battle, it gains the character keyword. Okay, and then Loyal Servant. When a friendly Ordo Inquisitor model within 3 inches of this unit would lose any wounds as a result of an attack made against that model, this unit can attempt to intercept that attack. Roll 1d6, and on a 2+, that model does not lose the wound, and 1 model from this unit is destroyed. Only 1 attempt can be made to intercept each attack. So that's pretty good. That Acolyte will jump in the way of bullets and things. I do have an Acolyte. I think I'd probably say this guy is an Acolyte. If you can see him, he's not that well painted, but he's got his plasma pistol, and he's got his mobile library on his back, or maybe that's just all of the codexes that you need to carry around with you to play Warhammer 40,000 these days. But there you go. That's my little Acolyte. And there you go. That's all the units. I'll now take a few minutes just to explain the Warlord Traits and the Telethesia discipline, which is a psychic discipline just for Inquisition. So the Warlord Traits then. As always, you can either roll 1d3 to randomly generate one, or you can select one. Or you can pick the specific ones down below. For named characters, Eisenhorn, you've got Radical, Greyfax, you've got No Escape, Karamazov, you've got Formidable Resolve, and Koteas, you've got Psychic Mastery. So Radical, once per battle round, you can reroll one hit roll, wound roll, damage roll, saving throw, psychic test, or deny the witch test made for this warlord. It's alright. Puritan, improve this warlord's invulnerable save by 1 to a maximum of 3+. That's pretty awesome. Formidable Resolve, add 1 to this warlord's leadership characteristic and increase the range of this warlord's unquestionable wisdom by ability by 6 inches. No Escape, this warlord can perform a heroic intervention if there are any enemy models within 6 inches of them instead of 3 inches, and when doing so can move up to 6 inches instead of 3 inches. When an enemy unit within 1 inch of this warlord is chosen to fall back, you can roll 1d6 unless any models in that unit have a minimum move characteristic. On a 4+, that unit cannot fall back this turn. And Esoteric Law, whilst this warlord is on the battlefield, roll 1d6 each time your opponent uses a stratagem. On a 5+, you gain 1 command point. And Psychic Mastery, this warlord knows 1 additional psychic power from the Telethesia discipline on the next page, and can attempt to manifest 1 additional psychic power in your psychic phase and attempt to deny 1 additional psychic power in your opponent's psychic phase. Pretty good. Koteas has that. It's odd that he has that and he doesn't have, and Eisenhorn doesn't have that, considering Eisenhorn as a better psyker, I would want to say. Anyway, you've then got the Telethesia discipline. You can generate psychic powers by rolling a d6, or you can pick one, but only if the psyker belongs to that ordo. So you've got ordo-specific ones, a little bit like Chaos have these. So for Ordo Hereticus, you've got Ascertainment. It's a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, 1 enemy unit within 12 inches of this psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, subtract 1 from the attack's characteristics of models in that unit to a minimum of 1. Roll 2d6 if the total is equal to or greater than the highest leadership characteristic in that unit. Then until the start of your next psychic phase, when resolving an attack made by a model in that unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Ordo Xenos, Psychic Veil. It's a warp charge value of 5 if manifested. Until the start of your next psychic phase, friendly Ordo Xenos units within 6 inches of this psyker can only be selected as the target of attacks if they are the closest visible enemy unit, and can only be selected as the target of charges if they are within 6 inches of the charging unit. And finally, Ordo Malleus, Power Through Knowledge. Power Through Knowledge has a warp charge value of 6 if manifested. Select 1 friendly Imperium infantry or Imperium biker unit within 12 inches of this psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, models in that unit have a 5+ invulnerable save. Very decent. So the standard ones then, you've got Terrify, warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select 1 enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to this psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of models in that unit, and that unit cannot fire Overwatch. Pretty good. Psychic Fortitude has a warp charge value of 4. If manifested, select 1 friendly Imperium unit within 12 inches of this psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, when a morale test is taken for that unit, do not roll the dice, it is automatically passed. 3. Dominate, warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select 1 enemy model within 12 inches of this psyker that is not a vehicle and roll 3d6 if the total is equal or greater than the model's leadership characteristic. That model can immediately shoot with 1 weapon as if it were your shooting phase, or make 1 attack as if it were your fight phase. In either case, treat the model as if it were a separate unit that is part of your army while shooting or making that close combat attack. 4. Mental Interrogation has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select 1 enemy character model within 12 inches and visible to this psyker until the start of your next psychic phase. When resolving an attack made by that model, subtract 1 from the hit roll. If your army is battle forged, roll 3d6. If the result is equal or greater than the model's leadership characteristic, you gain 1 command point. Number 5, Psychic Pursuit, and it has a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select 1 enemy character unit that only contains models with a wounds characteristic of less than 10 and is within 18 inches of and visible to this psyker. Then select one friendly auto unit within 6 inches of this psyker. Until the end of your next shooting phase, that auto unit can target that character even if it's not the closest enemy unit. That's a bit more complicated, that one. Castigation is number 6 and has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 inches of and visible to this psyker and roll 3d6. If the total exceeds the lowest leadership characteristic in that unit, the unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. It's probably one of the most straightforward ones, to be fair. So that is all of the telethesia discipline for the Inquisition. You've then got relics of the Inquisition, you know, such as like the blade of the Ordo. You can have a damage characteristic of 3, digital weapons, you've got the tainted blade there, then you've got the armories of the Ordos, and you've got, you know, the electrobane grenades, which I talked about, melee weapons. So it's a full ranged section and melee section, full weapon section. And then you've got all the points values there as well, and all the weapon points and the demon hammers and things like that, and then a little picture of the Demon Hunters front page codex, which I did get a while ago. And then you've got some examples of the agents of the Inquisition to give you some ideas of, you know, converting your own. So there you go, that's my full in-depth look and review of the Inquisition Codex in November's White Dwarf magazine. I did say I would do this. It needed an in-depth guide and look. We don't know if and when an Inquisition 8th edition codex will come out. If Sisters of Battle are successful, I really hope they do bring out a separate Inquisition codex with some new models, definitely like a Ravener model, and make Eisenhorn in plastic maybe, and hopefully they would work in conjunction with Sisters of Battle. That would be great. Anyway, what do you guys think of you know, these mini codexes in White Dwarf? I think it's really cool, but what I also find is cool is the Warhammer Legends on the community website, that they're putting kind of new rules, I want to say, for the older units which they no longer make anymore, or they're not included in any of the new codexes. Put your comments and thoughts and opinions and things down below, especially of this army. That will help us all understand Inquisition a bit more, and whether you play them or whether you normally use them in games. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.